Cats and personality are a topic that often leaves owners both delighted and at times confused. Some cats see their person and sprint over, rubbing their head, climbing into their lap, and following them everywhere like a shadow. Others keep their distance, dodge when anyone tries to touch them, disappear when visitors arrive, and even after a year in the same home, still feel politely remote. So do cats truly have personalities, and why can they be so different? The answer is yes. Cats do have relatively stable personality traits, much like people have their own temperaments. But a cat's personality does not simply fall from the sky. It is shaped by several interacting factors: genetics, early life experiences, socialization, and the everyday living environment. When you understand these influences, you are less likely to feel frustrated that a cat is not affectionate in the way you hoped, and you are more likely to know how to help a shy or aloof cat feel safer and more comfortable. The first factor is genetics. Like humans, cats inherit part of their temperament from their parents. Some lines are known for being friendly, people-oriented, and easygoing, while others tend to be more independent or cautious. However, genetics is not a fixed verdict. It is more like a starting point, a baseline tendency. If a cat is naturally more sensitive, it may startle easily, feel uneasy around loud sounds, and prefer to observe before approaching. By contrast, a naturally bold cat may seek people out more readily and be less stressed by change. The key point is that this baseline interacts strongly with experience. A sensitive cat raised in a calm, stable, gentle environment often opens up and becomes affectionate. A bold cat that repeatedly gets frightened, handled roughly, or bullied can still become wary and avoidant. The second factor, and often the most influential one, is early life experience, especially in the first weeks of life. Kittens are like sponges. They learn what the world is from what happens around them. If during that period a kitten has positive contact with humans, gentle handling, appropriate petting, a calm voice, it forms a simple belief: humans are safe. That belief becomes something like core code in the kitten system. It makes the adult cat more likely to be affectionate and comfortable with interaction. On the other hand, if early life includes little contact with people or contact that feels negative, being grabbed too hard, shouted at, teased, or threatened, the kitten may learn the opposite lesson: humans are unpredictable, and avoidance is safer. Once that kind of belief forms early, it can be surprisingly persistent, not because the cat is stubborn, but because the brain prioritizes strategies that increase survival. Closely connected to early experience is socialization. Socialization is not just meeting people. It is teaching a cat how to understand and tolerate ordinary parts of life. A well-socialized cat has typically encountered different kinds of people: children and adults, quiet voices and loud voices, and common household sounds such as hair dryers, vacuum cleaners, or knocking at the door. It learns that these things are not dangerous. As a result, the adult cat has life experience that helps it stay calm. By contrast, a poorly socialized cat can be easily overwhelmed. Even small changes, rearranged furniture, a visitor, a new sound, can trigger stress. And when a cat is stressed, it often chooses to withdraw. From the outside, we call that hard to approach, but from the inside, it is self-protection. The fourth factor is the living environment. Many people overlook this because we assume personality is something inside the cat, unrelated to the home. In reality, the environment strongly affects daily behavior, and repeated behavior shapes a cat's overall style in ways that look like personality. A cat in a quiet home with safe hiding places, a stable routine, high spots to observe from, and toys to release energy often becomes more confident and sociable. A cat in a noisy space with few hiding options, frequent forced handling, constant being chased off preferred spots, or competition for resources with other cats is more likely to become stressed, defensive, and distant. In many cases, a difficult cat is simply a stressed cat. From these influences, we can talk about common personality groups to make things easier to picture. Of course, every cat is an individual, and no one fits a label perfectly. Still, grouping can help owners understand needs and choose a more appropriate approach. One simple way is to describe 5 common personality types. The first group is curious and confident cats. These are the household detectives. A strange sound appears and they run to investigate. A new cardboard box arrives and they jump in immediately. A guest visits and they come out to sit nearby, sometimes even sniffing shoes. Cats in this group tend to be easy to live with, quick to adapt, and often affectionate in an active, outgoing way because they see humans as an interesting part of their environment. However, their curiosity can also make them mischievous. They climb, explore, and sometimes cause trouble in ways that test an owner's patience. With these cats, you need enough enrichment, toys, and space to explore. Otherwise, curiosity can turn into destructive behavior.
The second group is high energy, very active cats. They are like athletes, or like a child with endless stamina in a cat's body. They run, jump, chase, stalk toys, and rarely lie still for long. Active cats can be very attached, but their attachment often looks like pulling you into play rather than quietly cuddling. If you want a cat that lies beside you through a movie, you might feel this type is not affectionate. In truth, their affection shows up in invitations, bringing toys to you or running to greet you when you come home. For this group, regular play sessions, interactive toys, and hunting-style games help them stay balanced and reduce biting or destructive habits. The third group is sensitive and cautious cats. This group is the one most often mistaken as unfriendly. They tend to watch for a long time before approaching, startle easily, and strongly need a sense of control over their space. But once they trust you, they can bond deeply, often bonding intensely with one person. Sensitive cats do not do well with sudden picking up, tight hugs, or faces pushed close. The best approach is to give them choice. Sit calmly, speak softly, offer your hand low for them to sniff, and always respect the signal to stop. For this type, trust building matters more than any technique. The fourth group is independent and calm cats. These cats are very self-directed. They may like you, but they do not feel the need to show it constantly. They have their own routines and their own favorite spots, and they may come over briefly to greet you and then leave again. Owners sometimes feel disappointed because they feel not needed. But for an independent cat, that is not coldness, it is a style. They still bond, just without clinginess. Their signs of affection are often subtle, choosing to sleep in the same room, lying near your feet, slow blinking, or rubbing briefly and walking away. To live happily with an independent cat, it helps to accept that affection does not have to be loud. The fifth group is socially oriented, extremely affectionate cats. These are the friendly ambassadors. They love people, love interaction, and love attention. They may demand to be held, ask for petting, follow you around the house, and try to participate in everything you do. This type often melts an owner's heart, but it can also struggle if the owner is busy, because it may become lonely, vocal, or attention-seeking. With very attached cats, the key is daily interaction, play, gentle conversation, brushing, and if you are away for long periods, practical ways to reduce loneliness, such as enriching toys or more observation spots. It is also important to remember that a cat does not belong to only one group. A cat can be both curious and sensitive, eager to explore, but only when it feels safe. A cat can be energetic and also very attached, just attached through play. Personality can also shift over time, especially when the environment changes. A newly adopted cat may be timid at first, then become affectionate after months of stability. A cat that used to be cuddly may suddenly avoid touch if it is in pain, stressed, or has had a negative experience. So if a cat seems to change, do not immediately assume it has stopped loving you. Consider the underlying factors. Could it be uncomfortable? Has the environment changed? Has a new person arrived? Has the routine been disrupted? In the end, the question of why some cats are clingy and others are distant should not lead us to choose cats purely to satisfy our expectations. It should lead us towards understanding. A cat is not a machine built to produce the feeling of being loved. Cats are living beings with histories, instincts, memories, and limits. A highly affectionate cat may have a bold baseline temperament, positive early experiences, rich socialization, and a safe home. A distant cat may simply be more sensitive, may have missed early positive experiences, or may be living in conditions that prevent relaxation. When we see it this way, we stop labeling cats as snobby or heartless, and we replace those labels with a gentler question: what can I do to help it feel safe? And the wonderful thing is that many distant cats do not need you to conquer them with constant closeness. They need respect. You provide hiding places, keep a stable routine, play in a cat-friendly way, avoid forced holding, and do not touch when the cat is not ready. With patience, you tell the cat there is no coercion here. When trust appears, the cat may not become super clingy in the way you imagine, but it will move towards you in its own way. Small steps: lying a little closer, rubbing your legs more often, slow blinking at you for longer. For someone who truly understands cats, those small signals can feel even warmer than a hug, because you know they are the cat's genuine choice.